You ready? All right, this is take one.
Here I go.
This is Grady Eads. Today is October 13th, 2015.
Russ Parham, and I worked at Boxwell from 1970 to 96. Larry?
I'm Larry Green, and I worked at Boxwell on staff from 1966 through the summer of 69. And I left. I was in college, and upon graduation from college, I was employed by the Middle Tennessee Council in August of 71.
So it was 66 then that you came on on the ranger staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Correct.
You're 16 years old. You mentioned the farming. I have to say I'm really curious about that. So you said there was tobacco and corn, cattle. Just kind of for a layout for me, since I don't know this. Where were some of these things? Like, where was the tobacco grown? Where was the corn? I've always heard the cattle was out on the island. Roughly, where was some of this stuff taking place?
Okay, the cattle were actually down near what's now the training center.
Okay.
Furman Training Center. When you're going in the road, to the right, that was fenced off, and we had cattle there. And there were some cattle on the island.
Okay.
And up in the area where the rappelling tower is, there were cattle up in that area as well.
Okay, so in the Camp Light area, where
Mm-hmm.
that's the new high adventure area is.
Correct.
Okay. Wow, there's cattle all over the place
Mm-hmm.
then.
And one of the issues that we had one specific scoutmaster who happened to be scoutmaster of Troop 243.
I know who you're talking about.
Would ride through with his wire cutters and cut the fence.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Was this just to cause havoc for you guys? I mean,
No, he didn't feel that there was a place for cattle when the reservation should be open to the scouts to use it all.
oh, so he was cutting it so that scouts could have access to it, at least
Mm-hmm.
in theory.
In theory, yes.
So, following up then with the cattle, what did the reservation do with the cattle? I mean, I know you didn't just let them wander around. I assume they were slaughtered or sold. What was the?
They were sold.
Okay.
We didn't. There may have been one or two slaughtered maybe by the scout executive. I don't know this to be a case, so this may possibly have happened. But for the most part, they were sold.
Okay.
We also had a pig farm.
Oh, okay. Where was the pig farm?
The pig farm was over off of Tyree Access Road.
Okay.
And in fact, for years it was referred to as the pig farm.
Is this Clarence? That's the name that's
That was
coming?
one of the gents, but you're talking actually on Woods Ferry, right? And
Woods Ferry and Tyree Access, but we actually went there by way of Tyree Access.
Okay. And so was the pig farm the same situation, or was mostly selling the pigs?
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
Okay.
None of it was used for Boxwell
Okay. So none of that.
consumption.
Okay. So none of them for Boxwell consumption. Okay. And then I guess the proceeds from that went back to the council as.
They did.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And sold it to local businesses or other farmers. I'm just trying to figure out who would buy.
Well, they would take them to the livestock market and sell them.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See, there's a whole other world for me.
Yeah.
Um,
And we also raised tobacco.
That's what I was going to ask about next. So you said tobacco and corn. Where was the tobacco at?
The tobacco was over near the pig farm as well,
Okay.
because it was over by Acres Lake, and one of the things that we had, as far as equipment at Boxwell, we had an irrigation system. So we raised the tobacco there so that didn't matter if we had rain or not, we could water the crop.
Nice. I had never heard of that before.
Mm-hmm.
Was it irrigating off of the lake, or
It was irrigating from Acres Lake.
really? And how did that work? I mean, is it just pulling water off? Was there a pump? I mean,
Well, there was a pump,
okay.
and with about 6-inch pipe coming off the pump, and we would run the pipe through the field, and then run fingers off from it too,
Okay.
with faucets, which was actually spraying the tobacco
Wow.
and irrigating the grounds.
Okay. Forgive my.
That's
my
okay.
I
That's
just-
okay.
So, who harvested the tobacco at the end of the year?
Well, when I was there was three guys on staff full time, Parkin being one of them. I had an uncle, his name was Bill Harris, worked there,
Okay.
and then Farmer Bush.
Okay.
They were there with, and then Bobby Smith was the ranger.
And they
And
did.
so-
I'm sorry.
And so we would cut the tobacco and harvest it. Also, during that time, I think camp was like 8 weeks during that time. And then we had some of the staff members who would stay on after camp was over.
Okay.
You had Kerry Parker, Jimmy Roberts, David McWilliams stayed some, but not as much as Kerry or Jim Roberts did.
And they stayed and harvested tobacco at the end of the year? I'm trying to remember if I've ever heard Kerry tell me that he harvested
Not that
tobacco.
part of it. He's talked about. We'll get to the sunflower seeds and the filling the ponds
Okay.
over on the other side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I just have this image of Kerry harvesting tobacco, and I find that very amusing. I was trying to figure out why he never.
At Boxwell, we did many different things up there. After we worked from basically 7:30 to 4:30. Then I'd go home and maybe come back, and we'd work on cars, just learning about fixing cars. My mom had a '57 Ford, and there was rust on the fender.
Mhm.
So I actually learned how to do body work in Bondo and so forth.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Boxwell was a great place to hang out.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Cause I get a peaceful, easy feeling. I know you won't